So sir, did you go over the rules of
Thank you.
comments?
The rules for public comment, which is coming up next on your agenda, is you can make public comments if you are a resident of the township or if you are a township taxpayer. Please raise your hand until you are recognized. You have 3 minutes to make your comments. Once you have 15 seconds left, I'll ask you to complete your comments. For your comments, please come up to the mic, take a seat at the table, state your name and address. Turn on the mic and face the board to make your presentation and comments. If your comment is on an agenda item, please state with state the topic and identifying the agenda item. Please understand this is not a debate session and this is not a place for abusive language or profanity, it's for comments. We ask the audience to refrain from crying out or being disruptive. We'll ask you to leave if you refuse to follow the stated conduct or disrupt the meeting. Thank you.
Thanks, Eric. Are there any public comments on the agenda items?
Martin Schreiber, 138 Rose Valley Road. I just wanted to, after reading the minutes, you only gave me one warning, so I think that would be correct to correct that. And what I blurted out was to have a roll call vote, because without you guys using microphones and being associated the way you guys are up there, I cannot see lips move, and being hard of hearing, it's a detriment. So I would hope that you would understand the ADA compliance needed here. Thank you.
Others? Evan?
Nope, just
No.
heading for a seat.
Any others? Okay, moving on. Approval of the minutes. The minutes are in your packet. Need a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes, August 19th, 2024.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a second discussion. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Against?
Point of order, actually, forget it, go ahead.
Moving to payment of bills. Bill list was in your packet. I'll need a motion.
I'll make a motion, we pay the bills, $158,056 of them, looks like $590.73.
Need a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Here in a second. Further discussion?
I have some discussion. I see that Dilworth Paxton is still on the list. I did get the engagement letter. And there are some points on the engagement letter that make me still believe that this is not a township case. And the first thing is, and I'm not gonna read the engagement letter, just the first paragraph, which is kind of common knowledge, that it describes Dilworth Paxton as the firm, which we all know that happens in a case. And then the chief and fellow commissioners, Don Reed, Hank Llewellyn, and of course Trace, because you received the letter, or yes, you received the letter, as the plaintiffs. That, to me, says you guys are the plaintiffs. And there's also the point that, which was stated publicly here, that the commissioner plaintiffs have agreed that they will not retain any damages that they recover in this matter. If the township was actually the plaintiff, I don't think there would be any need for that to be spelled out in the agreement or the engagement letter. I'm doing this in the interest of how much money are we gonna spend? How long is this gonna take to get to trial? How much does it cost to go to trial? Being that we are well over budget, if you look at the balance sheet for special counsel, well over budget. We just should do some negotiating. I don't know how you can settle this, but that's my point.
Other discussion?
I have actually made some good points. And I just wanna clarify, you had no problem getting that, letter because you are a commissioner and it is a bill. I think you were entitled to it. And I know last month you said you were having resistance, but I wanna make sure it was clear, you got it.
I did get it,
Okay.
yes.
I guess, I'm sure I'm gonna get corrected by the solicitor, but my guess is, why can't the township sue instead of the individual? Because we can't. You know, you are being sued, Dave, Hank, and I, we're all getting sued individually on another case because you can't sue the township. You can only, you know, you have to sue, a person has to be defamed, the township cannot be defamed. And that is my short answer, and that's how it was explained to us. So, am I correct, Mr. Solicitor? Cause I should have checked with you before this.
You are correct.
Okay, so that, you know, the township doesn't have standing, individual living persons have standing. And again, when we get sued, we're named individually. Township, Upper Pottsgrove Township doesn't go to court. You know, there's, we are the township, you know, we are the representatives. So that is my short explanation because that's how it was explained to me. It is an expensive case. I do not disagree that we knew it going in. And I just wanna make something clear to everybody. When this came up, when that letter was released on April 1st on Facebook, I thought it was a joke. I sent it to Trace. He said, this is the worst April Fool's joke of all time. You know, somebody from outside of this township, an officer of the court, wrote a letter, no foul there, wrote the letter, that's no foul. Gave the letter to someone in our township, still no foul. That person in the township gave it to the Mercury for widespread publication. That's where the foul was. Now the safeguard should have been the Mercury. They said, this is not true. I don't know why the Mercury printed that because they knew it wasn't true. He's been following the story very close. He knows the story better than anybody. You know, and again, and I said this last month, I'm sorry to be repetitive. All we wanted was a correction. Our reputations are on the line. I am being accused, 3 others of the finest men I've served with are being accused of taking someone's constitutional rights away of free speech and using our law enforcement to strong arm that. That is I just don't know how that person wrote that letter. I have written many emails and letters that I've never sent. This person should have stuck it in the drawer for a couple days. I don't know why she did that. And I am gonna correct the record on something I said last month because I was incorrect. I said, we don't know how the letter got to the Mercury. We know exactly how the letter got to the Mercury. And when we were shopping for lawyers for this, they all said the same thing. Defamation suits are costly. They often don't return anything at the end. It's often a loss. And as soon as I gave them a summary of the accusations, they all wanted to take it. They said this is a winner. Kathy, I agree with you. I'd like to settle this suit. I'd like to settle the other suit. And, you know, we may have an opportunity to do that. And yes, it's very expensive. But again, all we wanted was a retraction and a correction. And I believe Eric's letter said in the manner that it was distributed. Remember, this letter was also sent to 20, 30 other email addresses. Some of them were regional news. They really, really wanted to just stick it to us. They should have thought about it. And now they're going to have to pay. And we will collect at the end, and hopefully the lemon's worth the squeeze because, you know, we're going to have to collect hundreds of thousands of dollars to, you know, at least make up what we're going to spend on this thing.
Well, that's unfortunate to hear,
It is, but what,
because of putting this on the backs of the taxpayers, and that's my concern, because as commissioners, we should be mindful of that. I mean, we're way over budget on some things, and we're working on a budget. What's gonna happen? How are we gonna make this up? How long is it gonna take to go to court, to go to trial?
it was a very painful decision, and everybody was very clear that we did not want to do this, because we knew it was gonna cost money. And we hired a top, outfit to pursue it, cause he says, I got experience at this. He actually represented newspapers in the past. Now, my question, again, is the same question. What was our alternative to do? How else would you, in hindsight, how could we have pursued this? Just let me
When
know.
people say negative things about me, and they have,
Mhm.
I just ignore it,
That's
okay? Because it goes away.
right.
It goes away. By this time, nobody would even be talking about it. I'm sorry, that may sound too simplistic to you, but that's how I deal with things. Cause you know, there have been some pretty negative things said about me.
And there's negative things and there's damaging things, and there is a difference. And this was definitely with the intention of malice, and the damage is done. I mean, I got questions. I sit on other boards, and part of the requirement of that board is to have a decent public profile. I got questions. Why are you suppressing free speech? I mean, I have a letter from the director of the other board, and he had to do that. I said, listen, it's all lie, and he's fine with that. But I don't, in the currency, I'm not gonna sit there and keep going on, but the currency the police work in is their reputation. You Google this in 10 years, it's gonna come up.
Right.
Or what?
And if you Google the things that were said about me, it'll come up in 10 years too.
Right.
And some of the things said about me were damaging to my, office as a commissioner, I think. I just ignore it.
Were they
Because-
were they printed in the newspaper?
No,
Or were they sent to, see, that's
but
where,
they're online, which is almost even worse.
see, that's,
And honestly, I appreciate your comments. I understand. I hope you understand my point of view on this.
Mhm.
And I don't
Why
wanna
not?
belabor this because everybody has a game they wanna go home to. Okay?
well, again, I just wanted to explain why we're doing this, and we will prevail, it's just not gonna be, the cakewalk we thought it was. Thank you, sorry for, the interruption, Mr. President.
Any more discussion?
Where are we at?
We're ready for a vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Against?
Nay.
One nay. Moving on to reports. Township manager, Michelle.
Good evening, commissioners, audience, and other members. My report is in your packet. There's not a whole lot to highlight. There are a couple new zoning hearing board applications, which you will deal with later in your meeting. Also in the packet is your August 31st financial report, which does include the updated entries for the CRIM account, which is the Cash Reserve Investment Management account. If you have any questions, I'd be more than glad to answer them.
So if you do take a good eye, first page, top part, cash reserve investment account, you see it's about 8.9 million, and we're still above the 5% with the T-bills being floated and rotating those every four months. And you also see the balance, and also if you look at 130.310, that's the outstanding piece being transferred to payment of debt. Any more questions for the township manager?
I do, and again, more for my fellow commissioners. I went through the balance sheet. I mean, I don't go through it every month real hard, but this one I did because I got prepared for the upcoming, budget. Now, I want to thank Michelle for taking my call today because I had a lot of questions on certain accounts, and she clarified them without even looking them up. But, again, I just want to show a couple things that kind of stood out to me. Under account 364 sanitation, user fees, we collected $19,211. I did not know what that was, and obviously Michelle explained to me that is the Portnoy collections or part of it.
Yes, so even though the township sold its sewer system, there are a lot of delinquent accounts, that are still in Portnoy's office, and this is in your sewer fund that he's referencing, by the way, not general. And they are still collecting on those accounts. We also have a few in-house liens on properties for, tapping in connection fees, and when a property goes to settlement, we typically get those as well, so that would be 364-110 and 364-120 in your sewer fund account.
And there was a few other accounts, the Upland Square Mall transfer, I guess that is inbound. And I apologize for this, Michelle, I do have one more question, I think the other people want to know it too. Rents and royalties, we have, cell phone tower Smola, 21,000, cell phone tower Hillside, 24,000, cell phone tower Heather Place, 32,000, billboard Heather Place, we budgeted 20,000, but we don't have any yet. And I was told, well, they're having a dispute whether they can pay, whether they need to pay. If that is true, is that true?
Yes,
Okay.
that's correct.
If that is true, tell them to just take the thing down, because, or at least turn it off for now, because enough's enough. You know, we're told not to be on our cell phones when we're driving, yet we got this big scrolling board there. But if they don't wanna pay for the rent, then they can just take the thing down for all I care. I'm sure it won't be as easy as that, but, I would, suggest that.
Okay.
And, good, thank you.